another episode of Skip Happens. A view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark and Deb Lamphere.
There she is. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's another edition of Skip Happens from the cold and snowy Northeast. No, it's not that bad today. I'm
snowing.
No, but still it was cold. We're in central New York. It was like 45 degrees. So, but as I was telling our guest a little while ago, Mr. Dan O'Rourke, that it was sunny, not a cloud in the sky, but however, it was still cold. So, and I want y'all to say hello to our guest, Dan O'Rourke. I'm going to be like, he is with a group called The Woods, and which is cool. I was listening to some of the music, and before we get into it, I'd like to just play a little bit of what they're about here. This is the single they dropped. Listen. And if you don't love this right away, something's wrong. This is really good.
Hey, baby,
right away, something's wrong.
Fly, would we do things right if it's end in the night? Yeah, baby, it's up in flames. Would we get things straight with the love we made? Do you feel like me? Don't wanna wait to see. Yeah, baby, I got to know what your one desire if the world's on fire.
World's on fire.
Love me, hold me, we'll be hotter than the world outside. Kiss me like you know me, girl, then we'll know everything will be all right.
They are The Woods, and of course, Dan being part of the group. Listen to the harmonies. You hear that? Dude, the harmonies right off the top, I can tell you. I don't know how that worked for you, how you got everybody to be so perfect together. That is phenomenal. So how are you, Dan?
Man, I'm great. I'm happy you guys are liking our song, so I can't be mad about that, man.
No, let's hope not. Of course, if you do get mad at us, you can just hit the button and we're gone. Right. So please don't do that. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about the band. How did the band come together in the first place?
The concise version is I had this sort of concept for this harmony group, and I was writing some songs with these other friends of mine, and we were writing them with 3-part harmony in mind, and we got a few really good ones, and we were getting in the studio, and I was like, I guess this is a thing, I think 3-part harmony is really cool, and I think these songs are really cool. Let me try and find a band, people who would actually want to be in a band. And so I started by just, Nashville's full of circles. And you just start with the closest ones. So Leland is a friend of some other friends that are musicians, and he's played guitar for them. And I knew he was a good guitar player. But we were just hanging out one night playing guitar on the back porch and with another friend, and just singing songs. And I was singing harmony and with my friend, and then Leland starts singing harmony. I was like, I knew Leland could play guitar, but I didn't know he could sing. And so in my head I was like, hey Leland, what are you doing tomorrow, man? You want to go to the lake? And so we just went to the lake, and I kind of pitched the idea to him. He's like, yeah, that sounds cool. So that was kind of a quick person to find, and then we started having to find a third part, which proved to be tricky because in my head I wanted to find a guy, because I was writing these songs with 2 guys, so we were arranging harmonies, and that's what I had in my head. So we tried out probably 3 or 4 people, and by tried out I mean sat down for a month at a time and really dug in, because to have 3-part harmony you can't really do a bad job, otherwise it doesn't sound good. So it's got to be good.
Perfect.
And after we would play a show, and Leland and I would chat and be like, what do we think about him? We're like, I don't know if he cut it. So To be honest, we ran out of time to find people because COVID happened, and you can't just keep trying out random people. Like, the bubble was small, and so Raquel was in the bubble, and I wanted to do live streams during COVID. I just wanted to still play music. I think people at home needed something to keep them sane, and we're musicians, so music keeps us sane. So I figured Raquel had seen some of the iterations, and she already knew the songs, and she was like, I'll sing for you. And if you go watch the first stream doesn't exist anymore, but if you watch the first stream, Raquel's just sitting there with an iPad on her lap. She's not playing guitar. And she was like, yeah, I'll sing until you guys find someone else. And then we did the live streams for a while, and I think I was calling it Dan O'Rourke in the Woods because we didn't have the woods.
Oh, okay.
So we did the streams as that for, long enough to be probably like a year or so. And by the end of the year, we were all like, well, this is pretty obvious that this is a sound. If we were to get rid of Raquel,
it's going to change.
It wouldn't be the same, Right, so all the people who found us during COVID and like us and all that, it wouldn't be the same. So that was it was sort of a silver lining of the whole COVID thing, because we wouldn't have had Raquel in the band, and we wouldn't have had a female, and I think we loved the dynamic of the vocal and just having a female in the band and all that. So the long short is it was an idea conceptually, but getting there was it was a couple little happy
a little bit. How do you tell people that they're not a good fit? You had gone through several, so you had to say that several times, right?
Shoot, that's a good question.
dude, you suck. We don't need you. We're gonna go on with somebody else. No.
But you graciously have to tell somebody it's not what you're looking for, and it's a business decision.
Yeah,
but they also,
Yeah, I mean, some of these people, they were like they were more than just acquaintances.
Right.
We all ran into circles, right? So if
right.
And so it was sort of like, hey man, yeah, pretty much know our feelings, but I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's the right fit, or
it's not exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You know what you want. It's all upstairs. You obviously had a plan for the most part, and you were going to stick with that plan.
Right. And Nashville, the nice thing about Nashville is that there is a level, right? There's a standard here. We all try and we all make sure we're at the highest level of ability we can be. So sometimes it's obvious.
Yeah. How long have you been in Nashville, Dan?
I've been in Nashville for 6.5 years.
Okay.
So
and where's home for you? I mean, I know Nashville is now, but I mean,
well, I guess technically I was born in northern New Jersey.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I moved all over. I mean, I moved here from Arizona. Before Arizona, it was California, then Seattle, then Colorado.
And were you doing music in all those different places?
I actually wasn't. I didn't start doing music until I moved here.
Oh wow!
I was always playing and writing songs.
Right.
But I went to school to be a high school history teacher, actually.
Ooh.
And
I stink at history and
probably because no one made it fun for you.
I know.
But I got on The Voice. I never made it on TV, but about 7 years ago, I got on The Voice, and I was out there for the month before leading up to the show, and I met a bunch of people from Nashville, and it was sort of like the impetus to be like, hey, you're not bad at singing. Why don't you go to Nashville and see what there is to learn and see what you can do? So that was really my only intention coming here, was to learn something about songwriting and the music business. And
it's cool.
6.5 years down, I think I'm learning, still learning.
Wow. That's pretty daring though, to make such a bold move when you were not sure if that's really what you wanted to do.
I guess hindsight, maybe yes, but having had just made a bunch of moves, I was like, what's one more?
True.
Yeah.
Is Leland Rooney any relation to Joe Don?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. You would know if he was.
Yeah. Or maybe he would be hiding it, but
yeah, that's true. But no, okay. Just wanted to throw that out there. So,
Yeah.
wow. So you
Yeah.
put together this, you've dropped a song to radio, World's on Fire, and
Yeah.
the harmony's phenomenal. I was
Thank you.
watching the video. You're on top of a bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
How crazy was that? Whose idea was it to do that?
I think it was spur of the moment to actually get on the
Yeah.
bus. The guy who owned the bus was the guy who shot all the footage for us.
Ah,
And so he's like, "Hey man, like he's actually like a pretty, I don't know. He's a videographer from Brooklyn, and during COVID he bought that bus, and he's like, I'm gonna go around and get out of the city, right? Because
Yeah,
so
that's
his
true.
cousin lived in Nashville, and we were all hanging out, and he was like, let me shoot some stuff for you. I'll spray paint the top of the bus with the woods and all that. And so like we had this concept to sort of like do a day in the life of the woods. So
Mhm.
for
Now,
some songs and all that. But
Where did the Woods concept come from? Calling it the Woods.
well, we wanted it to match. I had the concept before I actually brought Leland and Raquel in, but I wanted it to match what I wanted the music to be, which was like this organic, acoustic sounding music.
Mhm, mhm.
And being a band, I kind of wanted it to match the idea of the sum of its parts being greater than the whole, or however that saying goes. Is in like all the whatever makes up individually, the whole is what lives on, sort of thing. So, the thing about our band is that like individually we all have our strengths, but when you put us all together, we make this really awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
thing. So,
Absolutely.
in tandem with that, and just keeping it organic and raw and woods.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You've got a very almost a bluegrass feel. Is that right to say? Or kind of
People think of that because we do a lot of the acoustic driven stuff.
yeah.
When we don't have a full band, it kind of it lends towards a bluegrass folk thing, Americana thing.
Yeah, I was thinking that's the word I was thinking of. I was
Yeah.
kind of having a brain fart there, Americana. Yeah, exactly. I love the when you do an acoustic thing. I love it when it's just some people with a couple of guitars, and it's just wow. And then you can hear the real sound. You can
Sure,
hear what they
yeah.
sound.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a double. We love doing the whole band thing because you get
Mhm.
to have the whole sound of like the production you get out of the record. But something nice about the acoustics, you can't hide behind anything, and the vocals are like really what we want to shine anyway. So
Yeah.
you can hear them a little better.
What's like Raquel's history when it comes to music?
Well, she grew up playing rock and roll with her dad. Her dad's a drummer.
Oh, cool.
And her dad was kind of like, he was kind of like, you're going to learn how to play guitar so we can jam. And you're going to learn all the songs that I love. So that's kind of like where she probably started getting all the influence for the beginning. But I know she's like she's Canadian. So like her favorite artists are like Bryan Adams and Celine Dion and stuff like that. So she's always like been a big fan of the singers, like the big singers. Although she loves John Mayer too. So she's really talented guitar player, and I would say she's the best singer of the bunch because I think she is. But she can
Absolutely.
circle around
Well, I
us,
think
but-
you're all great. I think you're all good, and it's nice to have that female touch in there too. It just kind of
right.
rounds out the sound. Is she in Nashville?
Yeah, she's in Nashville
okay.
full time, but she's still doing. Still got her solo Canadian career that's doing a
That's
little
awesome.
something. So she's actually currently in Canada,
Gotcha.
right, playing
Because-
right now.
They have their own little world up there. They got the Canadian country, and we've
Yeah.
got what we do here. So it's funny. We had a Canadian artist down with us. Was it last
night, yeah.
last night?
Oh, yeah.
Or 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, I think.
Oh, 2 nights. Sorry, we had a night off last night.
And it's just
Like that.
amazing the difference. And I still have a tough time understanding why it doesn't cross over as much as it should.
Yeah, right.
There's some great artists, a lot of great music, but they're in Canada,
Yeah.
and then it seems like they stay in Canada. And then they may have a whole slew of
Yeah.
hits over there, And then when they come over here to the States or they make a stop in Nashville and they put out a song, it's like, okay, it's not really going anywhere. I don't know. It's
crickets.
crazy. It's kind of crazy.
It's,
what about Leland?
Weird. Leland's got the college background. He went to University of North Texas.
Oh wow, how
which
cool.
is a music conservatory.
That's
So
right.
he's like classically trained, very classically
cool.
trained in music.
Very cool.
He's the smartest of the bunch.
I was gonna say he's the smart one of the bunch.
Like, especially when it comes to finding a third part harmony or tweaking whatever harmonies he can do. Like he's the one going over there. Like, no, this is like, I think if you wanted to do this, it would be the 9th, and then you could switch to the 7th of the chord. And I'm just like, does it sound good? So yeah, so he's a Texas boy. He's originally from Michigan, but he went to school in Texas, and
he's there now too, right? You said
no, he's in Nashville now. Yeah. But he spent a lot of time playing like that Texas country. He was in a George Strait cover band for a while.
And here we go. Now they're in their own world.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you're talking about Canadian and their market. Texas has their own market.
Yep, they even have their own chart and everything.
Yeah.
So, Now, how often do you guys get together and write, or try to come up with new material?
We get together at the very least once a week.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool.
But as often as, every day.
And talk to us about your writing, your creativity when you write. How does all that come about?
Oh, boy. There's no wrong way to write a song. So,
and we've heard that.
Yeah. I mean, some of the earlier Woods songs were all written out of just a good time hang. It was not a formal write. It was actually kind of more creating a vibe with just jamming. And then once we started jamming, everyone would just start taking turns singing whatever came to mind. And all the while we'd have our phones recording it. And if we got anything good, then we'd go back and sit down and really like tweak it out. And, then there's the standard time where someone comes in with a concept or an idea or a hook or a title, and we write around that. I think I enjoy the more organic way of writing, of feeling it out and writing with your friends and having it be a good time. But pretty much anytime we finish a song, it feels good. So
I got you. How did all that work out during the pandemic, that side of things?
To be honest, we didn't do a whole lot of writing. It wasn't a very inspirational time.
Right.
But some of us had other songs. I had some songs. So that was really the time we got together and learned them all and figured out the harmonies and put the time into singing together and learning how to find harmonies on songs, who fits where and who does what, and memorizing the lyrics and all that stuff. So during the pandemic, I don't think we did a whole lot of writing. Raquel probably still did more writing than I did.
But you were doing the live stream.
But we were doing the live stream and, trying to play like a different set every time. So
and you had a name for your live stream. It
was called Worlds on Fire live stream back then, because it felt sort of aptly named.
Yeah, the world was on fire. Just in a different way. It was a little bit crazy. It had to be tough being a musician, being a writer, being a performer. And, when it shuts down like that, let's just face it, it's your bread and butter, man. It's like, now what do we do? So, it got a little bit crazy. And everybody's got different thoughts on it. And some people benefited from it. Other people did not. So
true. Yeah. And I think a lot of people were left with like, what do we do? What are we supposed to do when you don't have anything to do? No, humans don't usually have that much time on their hands.
Oh, I know. I hear you.
Seriously.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So you brought, circling back for a second, you said, where did you meet Raquel? Was she?
I actually met Raquel. So I went back and tried out again for The Voice. And I didn't get as far, but I met Raquel while I was in California.
Very cool.
To be honest, we were both on The Voice.
So, but she lived in Nashville, which is...
She lived in Nashville at the time. It's just funny. We had to go all the way to LA to meet. But,
that is funny.
Yeah.
So now the flip side, I guess, maybe it's a flip side of my question. So she came on board thinking that she was not a good fit and she was just subbing. So that's another thing to kind of come to terms with. Well, I'm just kind of here until they find somebody that works. And coming up with that, knowing that she maybe could have gone out and found a different path, and she ended up being the one that works. So I just think that's kind of an interesting twist there.
I think for Raquel, I could probably speak a little bit on this because we've talked about this, and she's like, well, the fun thing about the band, right, is compared to a solo artist, is there's a lot of awesome stuff about being a solo artist, right? Like you get all the glory and you get to do everything, but there's a little more pressure and a little more stress, and taking something that's your passion and turning it into a career can always be a tricky balance to make sure you still love it and enjoy it. And Raquel was sort of like in this period where she's like, I know I love this, but I'm not sure I'm getting all the full enjoyment I am. So she said when she started playing with us, she got to play more guitar, which she loves doing. She gets to sing harmonies, which she loves doing. She gets to just have fun playing music, which is like the key element of really being able to do this, like late nights, early mornings, all the time, on your bad days, on your good days. It's still fun. And so for her, she said it like injected a whole new pace and life about a musical career that she forgot, you know? So in a way, it's like, I think we all probably got something out of it. So yeah, it was an accident. I'm glad it happened for the fact that she's in the band, but I think she's pretty happy where she's at right now too. So
it's meant to be.
Yeah. Right. So
isn't that how things work when you least expect it, or you just don't really think about it, and then bam, there it is.
Right.
But when you think about it and you really want it to work, it doesn't work. Then you get your feelings hurt. But
right.
It's happened. I know. What's going on for 2022? Here we are. You've dropped Worlds on Fire. What else do you have in the can? And can you enlighten us a little bit about what's to come in 2022?
We've got some more songs.
Okay.
We actually probably should have put out another song by now, but we were waiting on the artwork. We just got the artwork yesterday, so we've got another single in the works to put out to at least digital platforms. And we're working on a record.
Love it.
We're working with a producer here in town who we're really excited about because I think he actually understands what we're doing.
Cool.
We're trying to be a little different, and we started, I guess last month we started really digging in. So that'll probably be where we put the majority of our time and narrowing down what songs, making sure we're still writing to see if there's other songs in us that we haven't gotten out yet, and get them on the record, and all the while trying to play some more shows. We're like a brand new band who doesn't sound like a brand new band. Love it. As in, like, we're so tight. People are like, how are you guys only been around for like a year and a half? It's like, well, the year and a half was like a lot more time than anyone normally gets in.
That's true. What I really like is you are different.
Yeah,
you're different, but you're still country. But you got your own unique sound, and it all fits.
That's awesome, man. That's always the worry, to be different, because
got to be yourself, got to be unique, and that's what you're doing. How often do you get to go out and play? Are you playing out on a regular basis now?
Yes and no. I mean, we play in town once a month just to make sure we keep having solid practice. But last week we went to Arizona and Colorado, played a couple gigs.
Cool.
Next week or next month, I think we'll probably be going up to Cincinnati and Kentucky and doing some stuff up there. So branching out in the way that it makes sense, and in the way that we have our connections that still makes us some bread, so we can come back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Pay rent.
What you say, you've only been doing this for about 6 years, but what some of the best advice that you've been given?
I have two, and the first one's when I first moved here. I was talking to somebody and I was putting myself down because I was like, man, I need to work on my guitar chops. Like, I'm just not really that good at playing guitar. Like, and the guy was like, yeah, I mean, you could do that, but in Nashville, there's going to be someone else who's better than you, no matter how good you get, because it's Nashville. So my advice to you would be strengthen your strengths, because if you want to be a songwriter, be the best songwriter you can be, if that's what you're good at. Because if you need a guitar player, you can just go find one.
Sure.
And so in a way, you know, I kind of didn't like it at the time because I was like, man, I don't know. It feels like I should be. And, you know, he was like, you're going to get better at guitar. The more you play guitar and you play with other people, that's going to happen naturally. But if you want to like really hone in on skills and get better at something, if you want to be good, you have to be great. In this town, there's a lot of great people. So that was one that hindsight had smiled on. But the other like natural one that's so cliche is like, make sure you do you, make sure you're doing what you love to do. Because if you get success doing something you don't love, then you're going to be miserable. And if you don't get success and you're still doing what you love, then at least you'll, you know, feel fulfilled.
Yes, you're happy doing it.
Yeah, it does sound cliche, but you know what? That's so true.
This town's full of hungry people, and
a lot of them
gets a hold of you sometimes that you just want to get that goal no matter what. And, you know, it's not, you know, I think whatever your intro to this whole podcast was, you know, talking about the journey.
And it is a journey, and that's why we love chatting with people like you and others. That it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of pieces that have to come together, and I think so many artists, or not those that aren't in Nashville, and they think they're really, really good, and they go to Nashville, they learn really quick that, holy cow, this is not what I thought it was. But you know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, there is.
But you got to have your passion. You got to have the dedication. You know what you want. This is what you want to do.
True. Yeah.
Now all that,
have a lot of luck.
Well, no, it's true. Absolutely. And sometimes you got to be at the right place at the right time. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, especially in that town, a 10-year town. Well, that's what they say, you know, and you're into it and you're doing really well, dude. So, you know, doing this. If you weren't playing music, what do you think you would be doing? Teaching?
You know, like 3 years ago, I would ask myself that question, and I would have an answer. Maybe it would be teaching. Maybe it would be, I used to write. So like I could do some sort of copywriting or something like that. I don't ask myself that question anymore. And when I do, I don't have an answer for anything but music.
There you go.
And in my head, it might be twofold, but I can't think of anything. And if I could, it would only put energy in the wrong direction.
It's a good way to put it.
All my energy is pretty focused on.
It's well said.
On the music.
So there is no plan B. Plan A and move forward.
Right. Exactly.
And it's going to work.
It's going to make it work.
It's going to
work.
He'll do what he needs to do to make it work.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a tricky little thing.
Yeah.
Every day.
So what a day in the life of Dan, what's it like? Do you get up? Do you obviously you get up?
I get up.
I was going to say, okay.
Are you breathing? Are you, no, all kidding aside.
Check my pulse and my blood pressure.
There you go. But do you get up and like go for a walk and think about what you're going to do for the day? Do you start writing right away? Do you pick up the guitar? What's a day like in your life as a musician?
It's different every day.
Yeah.
I try and be active. I play soccer, and cool. I'm pretty big into biking. So I try and, before music, actually I only got into music because I tore a ligament in my foot when I had just moved to Ohio. And I had the whole summer, and I didn't have anything else to do but play guitar. So that's how I picked up the guitar and started.
That's cool.
I learned like every Bob Dylan song there was that summer because I didn't have anything else to do, and I just moved, so I didn't know anyone. So I couldn't walk, and I couldn't hang out with friends anyway. So I was always an athlete. So I try and make sure I still maintain some of that athleticism that, you know, keeps me happy and sharp and all that. But every day it's different. Sometimes I get to be the artist, and I get to, you know, wake up and worry about writing songs or doing demos or, you know, trying to do any of the art side of the business. And other days I have to be the business.
Right.
I got to put on that hat and, you know, use the right side of my brain. So, you know, on a good day, I get to use both.
Gotcha.
On a bad day, I just end up writing checks all day.
Yeah.
Same with us. That's no different here.
Right.
That could be depressing.
Yeah.
But totally. How do you handle negativity?
Negativity about my music, or just
If somebody, you know how it is. I mean, everybody is, you know, we all get negative things said, you know, but how do you handle it? Just kind of blow it off and learn from it?
Again, like the first 3 years I was here, I took it personally. And then after that, I had to remind myself that music is subjective.
Exactly.
It's like any art. I mean, we can go to an art museum and your favorite painting won't be mine, and vice versa, you know? So kind of separating it from criticism of someone, like viewing someone else's opinion for themselves instead of their opinion being the view of you, you know, like making sure it's definitely not personal. Like it has nothing to do with me. The only thing that matters about me is what I think about me. And, you know, mainly, you know, I say that.
No, I got you.
There's other things that matter besides my opinion, but just reminding myself that it's not personal. Negativity is pretty much art will always have critics.
Yeah, totally get it. If you could collaborate with anybody, let's say you take the group, if you could play with somebody, who would that be?
Boy, oh boy.
I know it's a tough one. We throw a lot of questions out when we do this just to
stir up the brain cells.
Yeah. Mine are pretty slow right now tonight. I'll tell you, I'm just being honest. The coffee's not working. It's one of those deals. It's one of those nights.
You should have had a margarita.
I know. All right, Deb, I told you she'd get a little squirrely after a while. She went out with the girls tonight and they had margaritas before the podcast. So
there's worse things.
Yes, there is.
Man, I don't know. People to collab with. The problem with me is a lot of my favorite people are old.
That's good.
Older.
That's what's wrong with that? That's cool.
Well, that aren't playing anymore, you know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
But
what about somebody like Zac Brown? I could see them kind of.
That'd be fun. Yeah,
you know, because the sound of your music and their music probably could.
We've talked about that before, actually.
Yeah.
We always have those conversations because it's always like, who's your dream? Like, who would you love to go out on the road open for? Like, who would that be fun with? What fans would you love to like be able to like piggyback off of? And like Zac Brown's obviously come into play.
Would be perfect.
Yeah, yes. I think it'd be.
I think it would be, but who am I to decide?
What do we know, huh?
What do we know? Only what you know.
Right.
What you know, not what I know. I'm just the guy asking the questions. But anyways, but Zac Brown would be a great fit because their audience, I could see them really digging the music that you're putting out.
Yeah. And it's like country, but left of center.
Right. And that's the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to sound like somebody, but you could sound similar, I guess. But you don't want to sound like them. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give it I know what you're going for.
Deb's going, yeah, okay. The margaritas are kicking in. But do you get out to the ball games there at all in town? Do you go to the Nashville Sounds or any of those?
I've been to the Sounds game. I've been to the football games. We just got the soccer team.
Yeah, now that's
new soccer stadium.
Yeah, May, I
Yeah.
think they start, right?
The first home game is this Sunday
Yeah, I thought I read that
in the
somewhere.
new stadium. So, gonna try and get tickets and go to that.
Yeah, Deb's there like quite often. She's got business in Nashville.
You
So-
come to Nashville? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
But I'm kind of bummed we wanted to hit. One of the weekends I'll be there is Memorial Day weekend because for the third time we are seeing. It's a rescheduled Kenny Chesney concert.
Oh, no.
So that's not for business that weekend. That's for pleasure.
Right.
But we wanted to try to hit a soccer game, and they're playing the dang soccer game the same night of the concert.
Oh, man.
They did not schedule that well
Classic.
there. They need to move that to
There's-
Sunday.
It's also classic Nashville, though. There's always like
Something,
15 things
Yes.
going on at the same time,
which is awesome in a way.
which is awesome. There's never a night where you're like, wow, there's nothing to do tonight.
Oh,
There's always
gosh.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am on all these feeds. Like I could be every night. I could either be at Live Oak or Whiskey Jam
Right.
or the Station Inn or the
Love the
winery
Station
or
Inn.
what. I mean, there's
True.
just something a soccer game, a
know.
Preds game.
Yeah. True.
Never.
Reds.
Can never be bored. I don't ever want to hear somebody say there's nothing to do because
So
very
it's
true.
like, it's
And you
tricky
chose
get
to be
people
with
out.
us. So
Yeah,
that's-
right. Exactly.
You know.
So,
That's
Well,
awesome.
I'll have to watch your schedule for when I'm in town. So,
yeah. Keep us updated when you're coming. We'll make sure we have something.
Yeah,
are you playing? I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just thinking with CMA Fest coming up, do you get any space? with
I was just talking to Skip about that. We are in the works of figuring out what that schedule is going to look like. So
Nice.
hopefully, at least a couple places. But
Great. That's
we'll
great.
see. Yeah. Are you going to be down for it?
Oh yeah, we'll be down the whole
Yeah.
week. So I'm
Nice.
going to be there Memorial Day weekend. I'm flying in and out, and then I'm coming home to turn around and drive back the following weekend.
You're
Because-
driving?
I'll drive because I want my car there because I'll be there for the whole week.
True. Yeah. You don't want to be Ubering
No.
during CMA Fest.
No, and I'll
Costs
probably
you
have
3 times the amount.
some
Oh,
distance.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this town. And I think it always coincides with, I have to check, but Bonnaroo is always the same weekend.
Yeah.
So the traffic just
so.
gets
Yeah.
crazy that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to Uber.
Yeah. But, you know.
So,
That's
there'll be
crazy.
something though.
So
Yeah.
tell us about the website, getintothewoods.com. What are we going to find on the website, Dan?
A little bit of everything, some cool photos, some videos that you can find on YouTube and all that. A little bit about our bio and what people would be curious to know about this band called The Woods, because
Mhm.
The Woods doesn't really tell you anything about it, except for maybe it's organic acoustic music. But
That's it exactly.
But yeah, and it'll give you all like our social media handles and stuff to that, and you can sign up for a mailing list. And I think if you sign up for a mailing list, you might get an automatic link to 3 bootleg songs that we don't have.
Nice.
I have to double check actually. I say think like I think
Right.
it's still going.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so a little bit of everything.
So do you handle all of your own website activity and social media and
Yeah, we're
marketing?
doing all that. I let Raquel do the website, as in she offered, and I
Said
Say
yes.
was like, "That's you. It's all you."
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, anything you say. So yeah, we're managing all that ourselves,
And all your bookings, you do all yourself too. You manage all your bookings.
we're like I said, as the music industry opened up with the world opening back up, I think it was pretty slow. Like it was like a trickling process of people trying. So we're trying to find, like a booking agent, and
It'll all come together.
exactly.
It'll all come together. It's just, as
We're
an
building our
independent
team.
artist, you're stuck
Mhm.
doing a lot of this.
Right,
Everything from the website to
True.
Mhm.
TikTok to
right.
all the other stuff. All the
Which
sort
we
of-
don't mind doing that in the beginning, especially because we want to be the ones setting the tone and creating
Right,
the vibe for the brand.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's part of the fun of being the artist of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been chatting with Dan O'Rourke. I have a tough time like,
I know you do.
Sometimes I don't always do it great.
maybe if I had like margarita.
Yeah, I was gonna say you sound like you did have a margarita.
I know. Anyways, talking to Dan, he's the guy that put the Woods together, telling us about the other two members as well. Well, one of them, Raquel, is up in Canada doing her thing, and Leland is doing his thing somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Somewhere. But, it's interesting, and I love the music, and we played a little bit of it in the beginning, but we recommend that you go online, check it out. You can find the video on YouTube and watch it. You'll see them all on top of a bus doing their thing. And it's great music. It's just really, it's different. And that's what I like about it. It's different. And that's what we need. But, Dan, thanks for taking the time to join us here tonight on Skip Happens.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
bringing me on and listening to music and digging.
Absolutely. We'd love to get the word out. You deserve it. You're living your dream. You're passionate and dedicated to what you do. That's what matters. And please check out the website, getintothe.woods.com. And for those of you that are watching, subscribe to Skip Happens on YouTube and our Facebook. You can just do a Google search for Skip Happens. It'll all come up. And Deb, you've got your country music fan club.
Yep. Follow us on Facebook, and we will now add Dan and the group to the page as well. And when you have new music coming out, we'll be sure to push it out to all of our group, our members, and they'll be looking for they're always loving the new artists that come out.
Yes.
Kind of on that ground floor opportunity of something coming. So.
All right. I love it.
Yeah, Dan, thanks for coming on tonight, man. Do appreciate it.
Dude, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you and what you're doing. People like you make our job real easy because you put out great music. And for a radio guy, we get the good music. It makes my job really easy. So,
oh man, well, I'm glad you like it.
Yep. Appreciate what you do, Dan. Have yourself a great night. And
thank you.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right here.
Good night.
It happens. Peace. Good night, everybody. Peace out. I think we're out.
No, we're still live.